Hi, this is my homemade oil burning stove, made out of whatever I had lying around. The round cylinder is from an old hydraulic sausage machine and is 5mm wall 316 stainless. The material and thickness isn't necessarily for this, but good to finally make use of it. The hydraulics from the sausage machine are used to make a tube bender, so nothing went to waste. Bit like the meat that went into the sausages I used to make. So let me show you how it works. I've been using this stove for the last month and I'm very pleased with it after some trial and error. I used it all day yesterday and this is the clean out. If I run it too cold, you get a build up of soot, and yesterday I ran it too cold for quite a while. If the whole thing is glowing red, then you don't get this build up. Lighting it is quick and easy. I first pour a mixture of oil and thinners. This just speeds up the process. About 100ml will do. Drop in the baffle plate, which prevents chimney fires, and set alight your last overpriced heating bill. It doesn't have to be a heating bill, it could be electric, petrol or diesel, it's all good. Drop the lid on and it will immediately start to draw. Then turn on the oil flow and the fan. There will be a bit of smoke on getting it to temperature, but when it's hot there shouldn't be any smoke at all. Smoke-free running occurs when there is enough air getting to the burn chamber. Mine can do with a bit more air, so I've ordered a more powerful fan. Air comes into the chamber via 46 6mm holes. I'm afraid I just guessed how many there needs to be, which wasn't the smartest decision. What I probably should have done is made the total area of the holes equal to the area of the 4-inch fan duct. That would actually equate to 278 6mm holes, but this might be over the top, not sure. The fan I'm using is only 12 watts and the new one I've ordered is 20 watts. If it makes a difference remains to be seen. 20 watts, by the way, at the rate of 40 pence per kilowatt hour is less than half a pence a week at 8.5 hours a day. So now the stove is warming up, I can use it to boil water. At the start of the video, I showed how quick it can boil a kettle from a point already pretty hot, but how about from cold? I've poured 3 cups of water into my stove kettle and my electric kettle and have timed them to boiling point. The electric kettle did it in 3 minutes 5 seconds and the stove kettle did it in 3 minutes 27 seconds. However, with the stove having a hot plate welded to the side, you can have boiling water in 2.5 seconds. So let's take a look at some other details. I've got 2 ball valves from the gravity feed oil tank. The lower one I have modified to allow a finer adjustment of flow, and the upper one is just a shut-off. You can then just leave the lower one in its set position. I tried a needle valve, which was great for fine adjustment, but clogged up. With ball valves you can open them right up to clear any blockage, but only briefly of course. There is a tube within the tank that goes right to the top. This allows you to poke something down the tube should there be a stubborn blockage. The tube has several cross holes a couple inches above the bottom of the tank to allow sediment to fall to the bottom and prevent it going into the feed tube. The tank is just an old water heater that can take 25 litres. I had a bit of a nightmare stopping the leaks for which it was thrown out. It's thin overlap stainless and didn't like being welded. There are a couple safety features I added today. A heat guard and an overflow spout directing oil away from the pot. If the feed tube blocked up below the valves, oil will come out the flow metering T-piece and run down the tube. The spout will direct oil away from the pot. I bought a carbon monoxide sensor, but this one I've been told by eBay is not up to standard and must be returned to the seller. How manufacturers can sell such substandard life-critical products is beyond me. The flue was the most expensive part to this build. Where it goes through the roof is double lined and sealed with fire retardant expanding foam. It gets hot but not too hot, and the top side is sealed with a flexible heat resistant flashing. The rain cap I made from some stainless that was lying about, and the flue brackets was something I folded up and they clamped to the RSJ. The heat from this stove is, like me, absolutely gorgeous and will easily keep my 1700 square foot workshop at 15 degrees C with temperatures outside at 0. What a great asset, but in some countries you need a license to operate one if burning waste oil. Best to check that out before building one, as licenses can be expensive. These pot burners are not as efficient as ones that atomise the oil, but if the oil is free to obtain then that's a little concern. Mine will use between 1.2 and 1.5 litres per hour according to the temperature selected, which is all controlled by oil flow rate. These things homemade of course can be dangerous, so make one at your own risk. You can buy waste oil burners brand new and they work great, but will set you back a couple grand. Given the right attitude, anyone can make anything. This applies to oil stoves or helicopters. Wink wink.